Hello everyone, today we will be looking at Clicker bAdventure. General information. Clicker bAdventure is a 3D clicker game where you must defend your chest from increasingly difficult enemies while growing stronger. The game was made and published by Luminark, being their only game. The game only has 5 reviews on Steam and does not have a Metacritic score. This game was released in December of 2017. Graphics and performance. The game is 3D and has a very simple design, almost to the point of looking lazily thrown together. The environment is usually very simple with shiny 3D trees littering the world, and every once in a while there is an occasional unproportionate furniture or scenery to spice things up a little bit. It is almost going for a playset vibe, like the world is toys, but the environment clashes, making this sort of mess. The menus follow suit in this simplicity, but looks kind of lackluster, like they were placeholders. The game does offer graphical options, but I was only getting about 40 frames on the highest settings, so you may have issues if your PC is lacking power, but maybe it scales well to the lowest settings. Honestly, if you have it on low, I doubt you will be missing much in the way of razzle dazzle. Overall, I gave graphics and performance a score of 2. Story and gameplay. The game follows an unnamed hero as he journeys the land defending his chest and beating the enemy spawner to progress to the next level in an effort to make it to the last boss. During his journey, the hero must, and I can't put enough emphasis on that, cut through tons of trees to obtain experience and buffs. Now, going into the game, I wasn't really expecting that much in the way of gameplay. It's a clicker. You just click things, but this game was still disappointing in that department. The controls were terrible, with the camera being just about the worst part of it. Only way to move it is to move your cursor to the edges of the screen, and in a clicker, where you need to use your mouse and click things, it seems to be a really bad decision. Now you're probably asking, but was the clicking amazing? Did you come as you click? And to that, I say no. This game almost forces you to click fast and can really start to strain your hand after a while. I click at about 7 clicks per second according to this game, which was above the recommended for normal difficulty. But most things took too long to click down to be satisfying, instead feeling tedious. Exploring the world was unrewarding. Most of the world is just trees you don't want to cut down unless you absolutely have to. The game sports that the enemies and weapons evolve as the game progresses. The enemy types don't change very much, but will admit there is a slight variation. As for the weapons, the only change is cosmetic, and you will probably hardly notice. Overall, the game is unsatisfying and tedious, and as for the story, it's kinda just a backdrop, and every once in a while the character will say a poorly recorded line that barely makes sense, with dialogue suggesting defending a village and talking about dead people being good to him. It's like major things in this game were missing and they decided to publish it anyway. I can't rant enough with the issues I had playing this game. Overall, I gave story and gameplay a score of 2.5. Music. This is one part of the game I can say that was at least subpar. It was by no means great, but the track was a generic fantasy track that reminded something I would hear in an old Flash game, like Feudalism. As far as I remember, there was only one track in the game on a loop, but maybe different music plays as you get further. The music doesn't really add to the experience, but at least it fits the bill of the game. I think I would find myself turning on my own music after some time to a clicker game, but I didn't really make it that far along in the game. Overall, I gave music a score of 4. Length, replayability, and price. The game does offer something in the terms of length. To progress, you have to spend a lot of time cutting down trees to get power-ups. That is if you don't get bored of the game first. There are no times listed on howtobeat.com, so I can imagine this happens to most. As far as replayability, the game advertises varying enemies and dialogue, but I do not think this will add very much to the experience. If you can manage to beat this game once and have the desire to beat it again, try to admit yourself to the nearest psych ward. As for the price of the game, it's offered at a low price of $2.99, and is offered on G2A for 50 cents to $2. Honestly, I think anything over $1 is too much for this game, and should probably just be a free-to-play browser game anyways. If you really enjoy clicker games, you may enjoy this title, but I can think of a few different clickers that would be a better use of your time. Overall, I gave length, replayability, and price a score of 2. Recommendations. Clicker games is not a very big genre, but I have played a few. You could probably find a bunch of them on your phone. That is where I played most of my clicker games, but here are a few PC ones you may enjoy. Adventure Capitalist is like a tycoon game where you click to earn money and become rich, and you can hire managers and upgrades to earn money without clicking. The game offers a more relaxed experience to the one above and is even free to play. One clicker that I have put quite a bit of time into is My Name is Mayo, a silly game where you click a jar of mayo as a sort of story develops and the mayo gets various costumes. Overall, a simple game, but can be fun. There are a lot of clickers on Steam that are free to play, so if you're looking for one, just give it a sweep for something you will enjoy. Summary. As you can probably tell already, I wasn't a big fan of this title. I like to give most games a chance, but with my experience with Clicker bAdventure, I just felt was lazily done and then released. I could very easily see this being made for some college project or a challenge of making a game in a day. I think the developers have a nice premise for a game, but needs a lot of improvements. Clicker bAdventure is a clicker that sports progression with none of the satisfaction of becoming more powerful. The gameplay is clunky with controls hindering you at times. With no story paired with poor gameplay, I have a hard time recommending this game. Overall, I gave Clicker bAdventure a score of 12.5 out of 50. Thank you all for joining me today as we checked out Clicker bAdventure. I hope I can see you in the next one. Adios.